Hey everyone, so today I'm going to talk about my first time trying the falafel. I've had a lot of recommendations on a falafel and I didn't really know exactly what it consisted of. And I've never had Israeli or Arabian or Arab food, so this was the first time for me. Um, but first, we're going to talk about the cultural, religious, and social perspectives of the falafel. And so the falafel is known as Israel's national snack, but falafels are a traditionally Arab food. Supposedly, Arab countries believe that Israel has stolen the origin of the falafel. Many arguments have started between different Israeli restaurants and Arab restaurants because falafels are on the Israeli menu, and this doesn't even mention all the tourist attractions in Israel with falafels. Um, Talking about the religious part of it, a historian named Joan Nathan stated in the New York Times, falafel is a biblical food. The ingredients are as old as you're going to get. These are the foods of the land, and the land goes back to the Bible. And lastly, talking about the social perspectives, people people now enjoy the street food of Israel and the other Arab countries so much that they would rather have that over the primary upper class meals. And one of those is Musa Khan, which is basically chicken, onions, sumac, and nuts layered over bread. Um, so some of these were actually quite surprising to me. Next, we're going to talk about the nutrient composition, the ingredients and quality. Some of these are based off fact, and the quality is based off my experience and how I feel. But falafels are usually a deep fried chickpea mesh, but some cultures will use dried fava beans or broad beans instead of chickpeas. And I feel like the quality of a falafel is in its texture, because the taste is definitely there, and the main ingredient is either chickpea, fava beans, or broad beans. But I feel like the texture and how it's cooked um, really signals the quality of it. For me, the texture was very crunchy on the outside with the softer inside, and I really enjoyed that the outside was not soft or soggy, along with the inside not being doughy or runny. Um, Next, we're going to talk about like the relationship that falafels have to diseases or just your human health. It says falafels can help support a healthy blood sugar, lower risk of chronic disease, and suppress appetite due to the high consistency of fiber and proteins. But on the other hand, falafels are usually deep fried, which then raises the fat and calorie nutrients. So next we're going to talk about the availability and seasonality of chickpeas, since that's the main ingredient of falafels. In the United States, fresh chickpeas are harvested in mid to late spring, but dried chickpeas are available all year round. And it's relatively the same for Israel. It says fresh chickpeas are harvested in March with the availability of dried chickpeas all year round. And the availability of chickpeas and I think that this article was talking about Britain, but it said as of October 2020, because of a rough planting season, chickpeas demand is a lot higher than the supply. Therefore, there is a shortage of chickpeas, which to me was surprising. I didn't had no idea about that, but I haven't paid much attention to chickpeas. So now we're going to talk about the recipe for falafels. This is the recipe for someone named Tess Malos that created the cookbook, the Complete Mediterranean Cookbook. Um, from right here, it says that the cooking time and preparation time should take about an hour and 15 minutes. But as I previously read, I believe that you have to refrigerate all the chickpeas for 24 hours prior to starting this. So as you can tell, there's a decent bit of ingredients, but I would say most of those are herbs and spices. But I would feel like the biggest part of it are the chickpeas. And the steps to preparing it are, obviously refrigerating the chickpeas for 24 hours, and you want to rinse everything, um, like the bulgur flour, and then let it sit in a bowl for 20 minutes. Then in the processor, you want to combine all the ingredients to make kind of a coarse, pasty consistency, and let that sit for about 30 minutes. Then shape your new doughish kind of stuff into about a meatball size. Then deep fry until there's an even brown um, color all around it, which from there recipe roughly will take 5 minutes, and after you drain the grease on the paper towels, you're ready to enjoy. Um, Now we're going to talk about my personal experience with tasting a falafel for the first time. I bought the falafels from Yasin's Falafel House in downtown Knoxville. They have a side that consists of like the regular four falafels, and then I got it with tahini sauce. The texture was very crunchy on the outside, and the flavor was very enjoyable. It tasted a little salty, but whenever you add the tahini sauce with it, it gave it a little bit of a sweeter vibe to it, which I really enjoyed. I would definitely recommend this to anyone, and I would definitely be visiting them again. So, what I found kind of interesting about doing the research for this presentation was that of how offensive and how protective other countries are about the originality of the food that they've created. I feel like America is so consumer based, and also we have so much variety that we don't really care about where food comes from or take pride in what we've created. But there are definitely a lot of countries out there that take pride in that and are willing to start arguments about it. And honestly, I don't even know if there's like a traditional American food. And the things that I can think of are probably like fried chicken, hot dogs, and cheeseburgers. Um, but at the same time, as we live in America, we're able to have so many different cultures, foods at the tip of our fingers whenever we want them. But other countries actually eat their own culture's food more than anything else. Which I feel like definitely adds to the protectiveness over it. Um, so I believe that this is all I have for my falafel presentation, and also my references are going to be next. And so these are my references, and I hope you all enjoyed the presentation. Have a good day.